when the phone rings is currently the best thing in K-drama land. Sa Eon and Hui Ju's tug of wits keeps viewers on the edge of their seats in anticipation to see how they navigate their unusual relationship, going from hate to love. What's more, Hui Ju was stunned to see Sa Eon on the rooftop at the end of the recently concluded episode 4, fearing that her ruse as the kidnapper was up. However, mistaking the situation, Sa Eon goes to take her down, providing an opportunity for Hui Ju to hide the voice-modulated phone. What's more, Hui Ju makes it to the Blue House as the presidential office interpreter. This will provide an avenue for the estranged couple to gradually get to know each other. With Hui Ju close, Sa Eon gets to look out and care for his wife. Meanwhile, it's become clear that Sa Eon is not the Baek's biological child. It's obvious his relationship with his supposed parents is strained. They look like people in a war, kill or be killed. At the elevator, after his dinner with the Baeks, when he clutched Hui Ju's hand for dear life, he asked her not to mind the Baeks, as they are people who can replace their children, indicating that the Baeks changed their child. What's more, during his flashback, Hyujin told him that her son, who's probably the real Sa Eon, likes fish. It's clear Sa Eon, at the time, didn't like fish. Meanwhile, if you recall, in episode 3, when one of the accomplices was introduced, he was cleaning a fish, which could be an indication that he's the real Sa Eon. If this is the case, it could mean that his supposed mother, Hyujin, could be the brain behind all this. She could be working with her son to manipulate Sa Eon into doing their will, which is helping her husband into the Blue House. Her husband didn't seem to know what Sa Eon was talking about when he hinted at the kidnapping. This eliminates him as a suspect. As Sa Eon said, he doesn't have the brain for it. What's more, she was the country's first negotiation expert and a formal criminal psychologist. It's obvious the kidnapper is not brainy and has a knowledgeable brain behind him. He seemed like an addict, violent, and incompetent. These flaws could be the reason his grandfather replaced him with Sa Eon. What's more, someone close to Sa Eon is also in the loop, working with them. The insider could be Park Do-jae, who benefited from Hyujin's charity for crime victims. If you noticed, he was conveniently in Sa Eon's office when the kidnapper called the first time. He had keen interest in the call and easily recalled the number when Sa Eon asked them to trace it. This was how they knew Hui Ju had the phone and was in contact with Sa Eon. Also the location of Sa Eon's secret office. Meanwhile, Sa Eon and Hui Ju's relationship is gradually unraveling. Sa Eon was floored to learn how much Hui Ju studied him. After 3 years of marriage, they are gradually learning about each other. Hui Ju is starting to realize there are layers to her husband, Sa Eon. When they first got married, Sa Eon told her she wasn't part of his plans, hinting that he had a plan in motion. Maybe, he plans to become successful, to the point he could protect himself and those he cares about, against the rich people controlling his life. He must have come from a poor family. And his determination has pushed him to the height he's reached, enabling him to stand against Yeon. What's more, Sa Eon learns that Hui Ju can speak. After visiting the police station and learning that she spoke, he asks his assistant, Park Do-jae, to get the dashcam from NIS. Seeing and hearing Hui Ju, whom he thought couldn't speak for the past 20 years, talk bewilders him, and he's filled with a sense of betrayal. He confronts Hui Ju, who asks him if he doesn't have something he's hiding from her. Meanwhile, Hui Ju has a strong sense of inferiority regarding her stepsister. This was caused by her mother, who always compared her to Ina from a young age. It also doesn't help that she was forced to step in her place, to marry Sa Eon, who she believes loves her sister. Meanwhile, just like Baek Yeon, Hong Hui Ju is corny and corrupt. As Baek Yeon said, he made Hui Ju marry Sa Eon after his daughter, Ina, ran away from home. Hui Ju's mother, who's selfish and blinded by greed, was ecstatic about the change in plan, not minding that her daughter was being held as a substitute and hostage, until Ina returns. Kyung hid Hui Ju's identity from the public, letting the public think Sa Eon is married to his daughter, Ina. This means, as Yeon said, he's waiting to see if Yeon will win the presidential race, and then swap the sisters again. What's more, he could be working with Sa Eon's mother. She's nice to him, while being terrible to Hui Ju's mother. They could be working together, to force Sa Eon into helping take Yeon into the Blue House, and then swap Hui Ju for Ina. This could be the reason Ina is back in Korea. She had a deal with Sa Eon before her elopement, which included her not returning to Korea. Meanwhile, Sa Eon is curious about Sang-woo. He's led not only by his jealousy of his familiarity with Hui Ju, but also because of his sudden appearance and background. As we know, Sang-woo intends to solve a crime he witnessed as a child. What's more, he's a psychiatrist, who also solves crimes related to arson and bombs. With this, it means the child he met at the mansion was the real Sa Eon. The kidnapper, whom I believe is the real Sa Eon, likes to play with bombs, as seen in episode 3. Sang-woo might be trying to help the real Sa Eon, as he's a psychiatrist, by solving the crime that happened at the mansion, when they were kids. It's obvious he has a crush on Hui Ju, since their college days. Meanwhile, Hui Ju makes it to the presidential office, as an interpreter, after the tense interview. As she said she'd teach Sa Eon during the interview, she starts to teach him sign language. This is Sa Eon's way of trying to understand his wife. What's more, Sa Eon, who decided to give Hui Ju clothes as a gift, under the pretext of passing the presidential office sign language interpreter exam, cannot take his eyes off Hui Ju's unique appearance. Sa Eon thinks he's discovered all of Hui Ju's secrets. Wait until he finds the grater she'd worn in the picture. Meanwhile, Sang-woo and Yuri visit the site, where Sang-woo had witnessed the crime years ago. Yuri sees the news about Hui Ju's appointment, and is delighted for her. They decide to invite Hui Ju to celebrate her new appointment. Sa Eon finds out about the celebration, and decides to tag along with Hui Ju. During the dinner, Sang-woo tells the group about how he first met Hui Ju, at their college broadcasting room. Aware Sang-woo has a crush on Hui Ju, Yuri romanticizes their meeting, eliciting jealousy in Sa Eon, who lashes out at her, calling her hunches terrible. Later in the night by 10, as usual, Hui Ju calls Sa Eon with the voice-modulated phone. She's curious to know the deal he struck with her stepsister. However, Sa Eon is nearly hit by a car, just as he learns that 406 is a woman. Hui Ju springs into action, calling out Sa Eon's name, as she tries to save him from the oncoming car. Hearing her call out his name surprises Sa Eon, who just learned 406's gender. Meanwhile, the Blue House Public Relations Department hosts a staff event. A tired Hui Ju rests on Sa Eon's shoulder, and he shields her from the sun. The staff event ends up being a bonding time for the estranged couple, who comes first in the event. Meanwhile, the trip doesn't go well, as Hui Ju falls into a ditch. Sa Eon frantically searches for her, after publicly declaring her relationship to him. Let's hear your wildest theories. Who do you think is behind the kidnapper? On a scale of 1 to 10, how anxious are you for the next episode? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. If you liked this content, give it a like, share, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell for all things wonderfully K-drama. Thanks for watching, bye.